What is up, guys, and welcome back to an impromptu episode of the Bocan Garage. I say impromptu because this is not exactly something that I wanted to do, not something that I was looking forward to do or ever wanting to do, but it's something that I kind of knew was a possibility of happening being an owner of a Subaru. So as you guys know, Subarus are not always the most reliable vehicles, and sometimes they like to have head gasket issues. And guess what we got? Head gasket issues. But it's not too bad. Basically, from a head gasket seal, we have a leak of coolant. And when I say a leak, I actually mean like a drizzle drop. It's not that bad, all things considered. Now, I don't know how long it's been leaking for the last couple days. I would assume it's been a couple days because I'm going to try and get you guys down here. The leak, per se, is right up in there. All right, we come back with the light to try and get you guys in here to see what I saw. So you can kind of see in that area. I don't know how well. I can't see what the camera sees. Hopefully you guys can see that there is the head gasket seal, and it is slightly leaking. Now, I say slightly leaking because it's actually only leaking when the car's on, like pressurized. When the car's off, it's not leaking. Well, let me rephrase it. If the car's been running for a little while and I turn it off, obviously it still leaks for like maybe a couple minutes, but then it stops. Like, it's just a pressurized leak. And it's not that bad. It's not like gushing and losing all my coolant instantly. Like you can see here, my reservoir still has pretty much full, and it feels warm still, warm-ish, but you can see I do still have coolant in there. So like, it's not the worst leak ever, but it is a leak, and from what I was able to find when I was last night looking at the leak itself, it looks like a head gasket leak. So we're going to try this. Something that I've seen online. I've seen many videos of people using it. Some people showing that it works, some people showing that it doesn't work. And I'm hoping that since we have a very, very small, slow leak, that this will actually do the job. At least that's what I'm hoping. So if you guys have never had to use this stuff before, number one, I envy you. And two, I'm basically going to tell you how it works. Really simple, really straightforward. Basically, you shake this stuff up for a good 30 seconds or so. And if you have a small engine block like mine, which only takes about 5 quarts of coolant, you use about half of the container, pop it in your radiator. Then you let the car run and get up to running temperature. You let it idle for about 20 minutes. And you take it for a simple 10-minute drive. And then you park the car and you let it cool down. And hopefully that takes care of your overheating issue. So I'm going to try and drain some of the coolant out because I know that we are pretty full right now. So I can't get a whole lot of this fluid in there. So I'm going to try and get some of this fluid out of there. So we're down here, guys, underneath the car. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the drain for the radiator. Now, in most cases, I would have a pan underneath it to capture most of the fluid. However, because I lost, all my coolant due to the leak, there's nothing but water in here at the moment. So I'm not really too worried about getting that all over the driveway. Just going to let that drain out a little bit. Not a whole lot, not too much, because I just want to get enough out of the system to where I can fill in the CRC stop leak. All right, tighten it back up. That's more than enough coolant. Or I say coolant, but it's water. That's more than enough water being let out. And I would have bought some more coolant to actually, fill this thing back up with, but they did not have the actual specific Subaru coolant in stock. So we're just going to fill it up with water because I might have to flush the system once this is all done. If it does work, obviously going to flush the system, put proper radiator fluid in there. So like I said, guys, CRC head gasket. You guys shake it up for a good 30 seconds or so. At least that's what the instructions said. I'll go over them real quick again. Yep, shake well for 30 seconds. Put in half the cap in. If you're radiator capacity, coolant capacity is under 25 quarts. The Subaru is about 5.8 quarts capacity, so I think we fall within the realm. And obviously, this stuff right here, guys, is about 50 bucks. So since I don't want to, you know, lose all of it, I'm going to put in a funnel. Not the biggest funnel, just something nice, simple. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like that was enough shaking, rattling, and rolling. So let's pop this thing open. I think it's got like a sealant tab. Yes, it does. Take that off. I don't know if you guys can see inside there. It's kind of like a murky greenish. I don't know exactly what the color is. It looks like a nasty protein shake, if I'm being 100% honest, guys. That's gross. A little bit more. That's not half container. Ooh. Okay. So I guess I didn't empty out enough coolant, because guess what? We are overflowing and I still have half the container left. Actually, more than half. So let me find a towel and clean that up. All right, so next up, guys, is I'm going to turn the car on, let it run, let this stuff cycle in a bit, let it idle for 20 minutes or so it can get to running temperature. Then I got to take it for a 10-minute drive. So as it's running and idling, I'm going to keep the cap off for just a little bit, because I want to make sure that the fluid goes all the way into the engine bay so I can top it off with water as it siphons. As you can see, guys, it's kind of like this murky, light green protein shake color, consistency, whatever you want to call it. And again, I'm squeezing the tube because I wanted to make sure that, you know, the fluid gets siphoned through everything, the whole system and all that. And as you guys can hear, it's only been like a minute or so since I turned the car on the idle. The engine still sounds perfectly fine. Like, not once has the engine sound, well, bad. I only found out about the leak because last night I went to go get dinner and I saw that there was liquid on the floor, and I was like, okay, well, that's weird. I didn't pay it much mind. I should have. Got to the store, restaurant, whatever, got my dinner, came home, and as I was coming down to the block, I started to notice my needle temp just slowly starting to go past where it normally is. And I was like, huh, that's a bit odd. So I was like, check my coolant. And my coolant temp, well, not my coolant temp, my coolant levels were pretty much low. Like, the reservoir was empty. That was pretty much empty. Yeah, so it didn't get too hot, thank God. And it wasn't for very long. It was literally like the length of the street back to the parking lot, my parking spot, whatever you want to call it. So it was just for a short amount of time. So hopefully this stuff takes care of it, because I don't want to have to go and pay for a head gasket repair. $50 for this stuff, not cheap, but compared to, you know, having taken it to the shop and doing all that stuff, it's a bargain. So I guess I'll come back to you guys in 20 minutes when we take it for a test drive. All right, guys, it's been about 20 minutes or so. We let the car idle, getting run to running temperature. As you can see right there, the temperatures are exactly where it should be. Nothing's, you know, wrong. Nothing seems wrong. Everything seems fine. Car's running as smooth as it always has been. So we're going to, you know, take the car for just 10-minute drive now. And since I gotta let the car sit until it's completely cold, basically overnight afterwards, I'm basically gonna go, you know, McDonald's, get myself an early dinner, get some, you know, an ice cream cone because it is very, very hot and warm today. So figured if we gotta, you know, drive the car and do stuff with it, might as well be productive. So I'll come back to you guys in a moment because I'm gonna try and shove you guys into the car engine when we get back to see or show you where the leak is, if it is in fact still leaking, which it probably should still be. And then this stuff, when it dries, like cools down and dries and whatnot, it's supposed to solidify, like with like tiny things of fiber in it or something like that. So here's to hoping. Well, plans kind of changed, guys. We were taking our little 10-minute drive around thing that we got to do, and I noticed my temperatures started to rise, which means the thermostat probably just opened up and let more coolant in. I don't know, but we're cutting our 10-minute little drive a little bit short because obviously I don't want to do damage to the engine. So let's get back to home and see where that leak is. I can show you on camera where the leak is, and you know, just button her up for the day. It sucks that I can't give it the whole 10-minute drive that it's requiring and wanting, but when that temperature gauge starts rising past to where it should be, that's usually a good indicator of stopping. So that did not exactly work out how we planned it, guys. We let the car idle for 20 minutes and it idled perfectly fine, no temperature rising whatsoever. And then we're supposed to take it for, you know, a 10-minute drive. And I don't know if you guys can see, that's probably not on camera, but we got steam, smelling of coolant and whatnot. I can hear it sizzling over here. I can't see where it's leaking over here. There's a good amount of steam. You guys actually see it right there on camera. Now, I know the spot that I was able to find, if we can get back down there without burning ourselves, was over here. Now, I'm hoping the camera can see and show what I'm looking at, or what I'm wanting to look at. But over here in this area is where it was leaking yesterday. Again, I can't see what the camera sees, unfortunately. So I can just hope that you guys can get a glance, a taste of what it is, the area that I'm dealing with. You can definitely see the splatter all on the back firewall. You can see the hoses are covered in coolant water solution. There's some sort of leak down there too, I think. I don't know if it's the other head gasket. Chances are it is, but I don't know. I just don't know, guys. We're gonna have to figure out, or try to figure out what it is and see if we can fix it. But yeah, it's weird. Like I said, the 20 minutes that we had it idling at temperature and whatnot, not a single issue. Like, temperature was fine, didn't do nothing. And you go for a drive and we get like maybe 2 blocks away. I'll say like 4 or 5 blocks away. And at the stoplight, I noticed the temperature started to rise. And then I could smell the coolant. I could smell, like, you know, the fluids. So I don't know if the CRC is going to work. It kind of seems like probably not, but you know, it's still early. We got to let it run. We got to let it sit in. We got to let it now cool down. Now that we have had actually fluid burst out of the areas that it's leaking, that means it's probably also shoved some of that flush stuff in there. And hopefully that has taken care of our clog. I don't know. I won't find out until tomorrow, guys. So you guys might get an update at the end of this video, or you guys might just get an update in the next video when we confirm that we have to take this engine to the shop or something. Because, yeah, not looking good as of right now, guys. Not looking good. But, like I always keep saying, every broken car is an adventure. And I knew going into it buying a Subaru, because I've owned one before and I've known friends who've owned them and whatnot, these boxer engines are actually quite reliable engines. Their transmissions, on the other hand, if you're turboing and you're pushing too much PSI, I know that the stock turbos are not designed to handle much power, which is fine since the thing is stock. And I do know that these engines, if you take care of them and whatnot, they can last. Like this thing has 280, 200 and something thousand miles on it. And I'm pretty sure these are the stock gaskets. So if it does come to that where we have to replace the gaskets and, you know, have that all done, you damn well believe I'm not going to go back to using the OEM stupid cardboard filament ones. I'm going to buy those 3-layer metal ones, aluminum, that you can reuse and whatnot, that people in the Subaru community swear by. And that's what I'm going to swear by. If they swear by it, I'm going to swear by it, and that's what I'm going to buy. So if this CRC stuff does not work, it is not the end of the Subaru. We are not getting rid of the Subaru. Obviously, we got the Toyota here still, and we got the EK back at my buddy's place right now. So we got car options, but I obviously want this to work because I love the Subaru. I love working on it, and I don't want to die. So check back in, guys. We'll see what it's like, and fingers crossed. So until next time, guys, stay safe. Remember, always check your fluids, which I always do. My engine oil is good. My automatic transmission fluid's good. My coolant was fine. Just, you know, sometimes head gaskets go, especially on a 30-year-old car. But I hope you guys enjoy this little update. If not, well, you know, then you don't enjoy it. But if you do, remember to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, because I'm still trying to hit 500 to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm going to start pumping out more content for you guys. Subaru, Toyota, and Honda. All right, guys. Later.